Hello again. You're listening to Great Work, about finding serenity and success doing work that matters to you and to the world, with me, Adam Sandel. I'm experimenting with a new format this time, a few shorter things instead of one essay. Let me know what you think. You can email me at adam@adamsandel.com. That's adam@adamsandell.com. It's never the right time. I've worked with many teams that feel like they're battling one stressful drama after another. This isn't the time to be changing how we work, they'll say. Let's wait until this difficult period is over. It comes from overwhelm, and if you're genuinely experiencing a brief period of exceptional challenge, it may not be the right time to make big changes. But this isn't the time is usually wrong. It's always going to be a difficult time. This is the reality of working life for many people and teams doing work that matters. It's not a crisis, it's the job. Wait for this difficult period to be over and you'll never get there. And not having made smart changes to how you work may explain some of those stressful dramas. Doing what you want to do. A few weeks ago, I talked about doing what you want to do and not what you don't want to do. There's a professor of bioethics called Bryn Williams-Jones who writes a newsletter about navigating academic life. Highly recommended for academics. He calls it Brynstorming, B-R-Y-N, storming. In a recent post, he makes the point that good colleagues, quote, accept leadership roles when asked, such as running committees or programs, because these are in the collective interest and part of the job, end quote. Who's right? Well, I'd rather not be one of my hospital's medical directors, but someone's got to do it. And last week, one of my colleagues took on a task no one wanted, and our whole team's grateful. So I think sometimes someone does need to step up. An important footnote to my advice about doing what you want to do and not what you don't want to do might be shoulder your share of the stuff that no one wants to do, but that keeps the job fulfilling for everyone. My last podcast was about internet addiction. Some great responses. Here's an extract from one shared with the writer's permission. This is my worst confession for which I can never forgive myself. About 15 years ago, I missed my kid's reaction to unwrapping a Christmas present because I glanced at my work email. It was about nothing much, really. The kids were unwrapping presents, I glanced at my email, and an email got in my head. I didn't act on it, I didn't reply to it, but it took me to another place. And by the time I was back in the room, I had missed a moment. It has haunted me for a long time and will forever do so. But he's making changes, removing social media apps from his phone, charging his phone in another part of the house, seeing how long he can go at the weekend without looking at his phone, going for walks without his phone. It's like how I explain eczema, or eczema to North American listeners, to my patients. You're not going to cure it. You're going to build habits that keep it under control. It's a continuing project. A book recommendation for you, Oliver Burkeman's new book, Meditations for Mortals, 4 weeks to embrace your limitations and make time for what counts. It's 28 short essays, just right for reading before bed, about living life when we're never going to be quite the person we want to be, have quite the life we want, or be truly in control. Burkeman calls his appealing philosophy imperfectionism. Oliver Burkeman's thoughtful and bullshit-free. For years he wrote a column in The Guardian called This Column Will Change Your Life, a mix of wise advice about living life well and poking fun at self-help ridiculousness. He's got an occasional newsletter that's worth subscribing to. He calls it The Imperfectionist. The year 2025 is a square number. 2025 is 45 squared. It's the only square-numbered year in the Gregorian calendar that most of us are likely to experience. 44 squared was 1936, 89 years ago. 46 squared is 2116, 91 years ahead. But mathematics nerds, it gets better. 2025 is also 1 cubed plus 2 cubed plus 3 cubed plus 4 cubed up to plus 9 cubed. And the next one of those, add 10 cubed, is in 1,000 years. Before you go, if you're getting this via a podcast app or YouTube, do sign up for the email list at www.adamsandel.com. That's adamsandell.com. That way you'll get the podcasts emailed to you every couple of weeks, embedded in an email that you can read if you prefer. Sometimes there's a little more in the emails too, including links to stuff I refer to, and this week, a cartoon. If you found anything useful here, it would mean the world to me if you were to let others know about it. And that's it for this time. Thank you so much for listening.